What's a more common first reaction when we face difficulties, obstacles? Is it making excuses as to why we can't overcome the obstacle, or is it stepping out in faith? In Matthew chapter 14, all of the disciples watch as Jesus does the impossible, and he feeds thousands of people with a young boy's lunch. Sometimes I think that Peter was the only one paying attention that day, and he understood that Jesus could do the impossible. Later on in that same chapter, Peter and the other disciples are in a boat. Jesus comes walking to them on the water in the middle of the night. Now, as soon as Peter recognizes that it's Jesus, he wants to be where Jesus is. He hops out of the boat and he actually begins to walk on water. Now, I know that we oftentimes criticize Peter because of his lack of faith. He gets his eyes off of Jesus and he begins to sink. And while that did happen, never underestimate the fact that Peter actually walked on water. He did the impossible. I think the biggest failure that night was made by the other 11 who stayed in the boat. They had lack of faith, and they did nothing. I think the greatest failure is failure to try. When we don't try, we show it's because we don't have faith or we don't trust. Ron Dunn, in his book Faith Crisis, wrote this: if we are spiritually impoverished, it's not because the hand of grace is tight-fisted. It's because the hand of faith is too weak. So what's God asking you to do that might seem impossible? Are you willing to get out of the boat and attempt the impossible with God? Or are you content to remain weak in your faith and stay in the boat? You think about that.